clear. Go.
Welcome back to another Cyberpunk 2077 news update. Following a CD Projekt Capital Group conference, it has been quite an interesting week in terms of details on the game and CD Projekt as a company, covering a myriad of topics such as Cyberpunk 2077 potentially being available on cross-generation, a new AAA title being in the works, and special plans for E3 2019. There will also be the weekly dose of a red pill separating facts from fiction. In this week's updates from the CD Projekt Red community team, they confirmed that there are currently no plans for VR support. A question which often arises is what are the recommended PC specs for the game, but that information will be available closer to the actual release. Another popular question is whether one can have a zero cyberware run. That is not possible. The community team wrote that if you want to be respected in Night City, you need to have cyberware, which fits within the narrative created in Cyberpunk 2020. Remember, style over substance is of paramount importance. Now, many street rats have recently been producing clickbait on Cyberpunk 2077 being censored by Sony on the PS4, even though at this moment in time there is no evidence for this. CDPR themselves currently do not know what the situation will be with regards to Cyberpunk 2077 and Sony. Remember that it will be censored in specific regions regardless, just as Witcher 3 was.
His chest is crushed. Ribs probably pierced his lungs. Something picked him up and threw him against the tree.
The highlight of the week stems from a presentation by Adam Kaczynski, president of CD Projekt and joint CEO, and Piotr Nielubowicz, member of the board and CFO of the CD Projekt Capital Group. Piotr mentions that in March 2018, a new studio was opened in Wrocław, which should allow CDPR to expand its current activities quite significantly, while two new companies were incorporated into the framework of the Capital Group. Spokko, which is working on a new project targeting mobile devices, and possibly a reference to a mobile version of the Gwent Witcher card game that is coming to iPhone fall 2019. These developments are interesting because if successful, it could potentially open up opportunities for Cyberpunk 2077 spin-off games. The second company will be the CD Projekt Store, which will be selling game-related merchandise. CDPR estimates that over 250 million people have seen the gameplay demo, and that Cyberpunk 2077 has generated significantly more interest than Witcher 3 Wild Hunt if one looks at the viewership of game trailers on CD Projekt's YouTube channel. That said, I always urge caution when using YouTube analytics, as one need only examine a few fake Cyberpunk 2077 news videos to see that views are not exactly a reliable metric on YouTube. One should remain highly optimistic regardless, as the main marketing campaign from CD Projekt Red most likely will not start until E3 2019, which is about 72 days away. In 2018, the group generated 363 million zloty in sales revenues and 109 million zloty in net profit. Overall, in 2018, CD Projekt Capital Group's balance sheet total finally exceeded 1 billion zloty, as did its equity. Suffice to say, while many gaming companies are struggling in recent times, it's fantastic to see CD Projekt Red continuing to grow strongly, and they have not even released Cyberpunk yet. So it's certainly looking good not only for Cyberpunk 2077, but for future games from a Polish company. Adam Kaczynski discussed CD Projekt's plans for E3 2019, which will be held on June 11th to 13th in Los Angeles. Adam described it as the most important one CDPR have ever done, and they have put together a very good show, which will contain many surprises for fans. CDPR are looking to expand their development and merchandising of products for The Witcher and Cyberpunk 2077 beyond just gaming, although they were not forthcoming with any specific details on what that may entail. One must assume this relates to the official CD Projekt store. I definitely need some officially licensed Cyberpunk 2077 gear. Previously, CDPR have stated this store would be open in 2019. As I mentioned in the previous news video, CD Projekt Red are already working on another game project or AAA title. The goal is to go beyond gamers' expectations. No details have been provided on what sort of game this will be, or whether it's an addition to one of CDPR's current IPs, or something new. It was confirmed it's not going to be reviving or porting an old game, as there was some speculation it could be a remaster of the original Witcher. At the moment, CDPR are fully focused on marketing and finishing Cyberpunk 2077. Adam was also asked whether a pop artist would be accompanying CD Projekt Red at E3, which was a direct nod to recent fake news on Lady Gaga. He confirmed there would not be any pop artists. With regards to the availability of Cyberpunk 2077 on the next generation of consoles, or the PS5 and Xbox Scarlet, Adam confirmed the game's Red engine was designed specifically to accommodate this possibility, but did not state it will definitely be on the next gen consoles, as some street rats are incorrectly reporting. It does beg the question, what will be the differences in game performance between the generation of consoles, and how will the Red engine impact upon the PC version? Only time will tell. Adam Kaczynski was unable to comment on the ongoing legal situation of Andrzej Sapkowski, the author of the Witcher series. It's highly unlikely this situation will impact upon CDPR's current momentum. In this week's subscriber Q&A, I was asked whether or not there were any unique martial arts styles in Mike Pondsmith's Cyberpunk world. Perhaps the most famous one is the Panzerfaust, which literally translates into Armor Fist. Designed specifically for Borgs, Panzerfaust allows total exploitation of the Borg's superior strength, long-distance kicks, and inhuman dodges. If trapped in his submission hold, the flexibility and additional range of motion a Borg trained in Panzerfaust has makes escape maneuvers impossible for men or power armor users. Strikes are considered to have similar penetration as a shotgun slug. Training in the Panzerfaust was offered by the Iron Tiger Dojo, which was originally found in the Upper Marina district of Night City. The Borg also needed to undergo modifications involving magnetically coated joints for full range, high-speed motion, and specifically hardened plates installed on all striking surfaces for the price of 4,000 eddies. It will be most interesting to see if he encounters any martial art expert Borgs in Cyberpunk 2077. Deceitful street rats continue with clickbait and more fake news this week. I'm under the impression they change their release date information more often than they change their underwear. 2019, 2020, 2021, 2019, no, it's 2021 again. Maybe they are just innumerate. What's worse are the fools who continue to consume this clickbait nonsense, even though CD Projekt Red themselves do not have a fixed internal release date. There is only one provisional release date available, August 1st, for the Cyberpunk Red rulebook from Artal Saurian Games. You will find all of the release dates being discussed at this moment in time originate directly out of a street rat's arse. Speaking of fake news, you might recall how some street rats were claiming CD Projekt Red were releasing exciting and huge news at PAX East, which was held on March 28th to 31st. And notice how there is no info on Cyberpunk 2077 or CD Projekt Red from this event. just another fine example of the long list of lies from certain individuals. Hey Chumba, I'm Kazuliski and I hope you found the Cyberpunk 2077 news update to be informative. Are you interested in more Cyberpunk 2077 content? Then be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you for watching.
True to the promise made in 2013, it's still coming when it's ready.